There is an amazing amount of talk in the field about constructs like self-determination, individualized budgets, person-centered planning. We all seem to be pushing in some direction that way, but there's no consensus definition about what any of these things are. And I find that people very often want to get into the woods and argue about the details of things. What are you going to do and how are you going to do it? And they really lose sight of why we're after any of this. Why is it that we want to spend dollars in ways that promote self-determination or community integration? Why? What are we doing? So it starts with what you believe, not what are you going to do and how you're going to do, but what you believe. And that's always a good place for us to start. And it's amazing to me how people could disagree on these very fundamentals. One of the things we believe, everybody believes, I think, is that people have a right to live, work, play, and love in the community, just like anyone else, with the support they need. But then after that, you come down to secondary beliefs like people have a right to control their own lives and be the boss of their own life to the extent feasible, that people make contributions to the community and people can help one another, that it's not all about government-paid services, but in fact all of our services and supports can come from other places, not just from the government. But what's also key to this is not just thinking about the individual, but thinking about, because if you think about only individual, you end up with a solution that's all about me and me and me, and could I get mine, right? But you come to realize that me plus me plus me ultimately equals we, and we have to think about the money we have, which is not infinite, and so you have a certain amount of money that you have to spread around. Well, do you believe in wait lists or not? So if you don't, and you believe in everybody gets in, we're all in, and you have a finite amount of money, well, then you have to have a way of spreading those dollars out in a way that's fair. So all of a sudden, you move from thinking about what is person-centered and what is self-directed, and these concepts that have to do with just me, and you start to also think about other policy goals that have to do with all of us, that we need to do this in a way that's fair and a way that spreads the support out so that as we can help as many people as we can. Now, what that requires us to do is to move money around, because the money we have right now is being spent the way it is. And I'll be bold to say that everywhere I've been, I have witnessed what I might call a living museum of ways of doing things that date back decades. And we don't change anything, we just layer new things on top. And so to really make this work in a way that puts people in control of their own lives to the extent they can be, and in ways that help us think about the collective, all of us together, we're going to have to move money around, and we're going to have to disinvest from old ways of doing things that nobody wants anymore, but somehow we've created this supply of services that we need to keep funded. But we have to have the courage to do that. Transforming a system from what was to some new vision, when we really quite understand how to operationalize that new vision, is a very hard thing to do. For so many places, there are millions of dollars on the table, whatever currency you have in your country. And to get policymakers to change from how they've been spending money to some new way of spending money requires a certain amount of courage. And what I have found is that it's almost like I've heard the expression of dancing with dragons, where people talk about changing systems, and we can lead them up to the brink of change. And when they finally arrive, they don't see a brink, they see more a precipice. And they take 3 steps back, because there's a lot of danger in making big changes. And there are dragons that breathe fire. And so the idea here in making change is also how to learn how to dance with dragons and have the courage to take that step. And that's a hard thing. I wish we would spend more time talking about the implementation and the change process than simply arguing about the various components of self-determination or this or that. It's a really hard thing for policymakers to do.